Something happened this week, and I've been thinking about how to share it with you. But I knew I needed to because I see it almost 100% of the time. Now, this is not going to be a solution video. This is simply an observation. I'm going to throw some thoughts at you here, and I want you to think about it. Because I'm not seeing something that I like to see. And I think as men, it's something that we need to think about and change. Had a gentleman come in to meet with me, do a consultation to see about working with me. And at the end of the consultation, he was excited. He really wanted to do this. And his main reason for wanting to work with me is he wanted to get healthy again. Wasn't particularly unhealthy, but he had been very active in the past, and he had wanted to regain that. But before he started, he wanted to ask permission, not from his wife, not from his fiancée, but from his girlfriend. Now, we're getting into a sticky situation here where we're talking about relationships. Again, I'm acting as an observer here, but I wanted to point something out. I could somewhat understand if this was a situation where a couple, marriage or as a fiancé, were working together toward a goal in which spending money or taking time might be incompatible with a shared goal that they have. But we're talking about a girlfriend, and I know you're committed to this relationship, but this gentleman had shared in this consultation about how she was doing this class and that Pilates class and this massage therapy and this and that. And he felt guilty to do one thing for himself, not the least of which was to get healthy. And the next part of this is she said no. So he couldn't do this. Now, that does not strike me as a healthy relationship. And yet, it's not my place to say what he needs to think about as far as that goes. But guys, I will say this. I see this almost 85 to 90% of the time when I have a consultation with a guy. He needs to sit afterwards and get permission. And yet, for almost 37 years that I've been doing this work, I can count on one hand the number of women who have said the same thing. Now, that does not strike me as a well-balanced relationship. Now, let me go back here for a moment. I remember my mother and father's dynamic, and my mother and father's dynamic was what he said goes. And I'm not saying that's healthy. That's not the way of this. Even to the point where he wanted to move to another town that she was adamantly against, and he did it anyway. That's not what this is about. This is not what this should go to, and that was not appropriate either. But we've gone a complete 180 here, where even the simplest decisions as a man in taking care of yourself or in doing something that you enjoy or want to do, you need to get permission to do it. Now, I know if there are, as I said before, if there is something that you're working on together where this might be counteractive to what it is that you're trying to do. I get that. But this is pretty fundamental, and I see it all too often. I think as guys, we're afraid to act without permission. We need permission from our bosses, from our coworkers, from our girlfriends, wives, fiancés. We need permission I've seen guys sit at intersections at a red light and the light turns green and they sit there waiting for somebody to make the first move. This is not healthy. And as a guy, this is not appropriate. Now, this is not about pushing your weight around and ignoring your loved ones or the people that are important in your life, their needs. But what I'm speaking to is there is a sharp imbalance here that has been the dynamic for decades. And I don't see it reciprocated. The issue comes down to this. Guys, at some point, you need to start making your own decisions. You need to stick with them. If they truly involve someone else in your life, then sit down with them and discuss it. Not, again, this is my opinion, not to ask permission, but because you care enough about them, you want to bring them aboard your decision. Do you see the difference? There are going to be some very material things, buying a home, changing careers, some major life events that are going to dynamically affect your families. That, yes, you probably as a partnership need to discuss and come to a conclusion together. But on so many other aspects of your life that are not as material, and certainly if anything is actually beneficial to the other person, I don't believe you need to ask their permission. So guys, look back and see where you've given up the reins to your life. See if there is at least some way for you to start taking back control. I can see why you're unhappy. I can see why you feel you have no control over your life. You have given it up. No one's taken it from you. You've given it up. There is a balance here, and only you are going to be able to decide what that balance is with the people that are in your life. Again, this is an observation video. This isn't this is what I'm recommending you do video. But if you're going to be happy and feel that your life has direction and that you're the one directing it, you're going to have to get your balls back. You're going to have to stop asking permission for everything that you're wanting to do or doing. So guys, that's my thoughts for this video. Hang in there. It's an interesting ride. Take care. Bye-bye.